Hello and welcome to your channel Global Crossroads. Friends, what if I told you that one man spent nearly 3 decades fighting a political war? A man who was once the heir apparent, then became a prisoner, then became a symbol of resistance, and finally became prime minister. This is not a Hollywood movie. This is the extraordinary story of a hero, Malaysia's Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim. But here is the real question. Has Anwar Ibrahim finally won? Or is his greatest political test is still lying ahead? Today we ask, all's well that ends well? Or is the ending yet to be written? Welcome to another deep dive into Asian politics. At the other end is your friend Dr. Jaynarayan Vyas taking you through this discussion. Friends, for decades, as I told you, Anwar Ibrahim was considered Malaysia's future. A brilliant student leader, a charismatic speaker, a reformist Muslim intellectual, and eventually the chosen successor of legendary Malaysian leader Mahathir Mohamad. By the 1990s, Anwar had risen rapidly. Education minister, finance minister, deputy prime minister. Many believed it was only a matter of time before he inherited power. But politics is never that simple. Then came the Asian financial crisis. The economy collapsed. Political tensions exploded. And suddenly, the matter and the protege became enemies. So the mentor and protege, which were together once upon a time, started being each other's hardcore enemies. Mahathir Mohamad on one side and his protege, Malaysian charismatic leader Anwar Ibrahim on the other side. The sudden development created a situation which said that the political romance turned into one of Asia's most bitter rivalries. Everything changed. Anwar was dismissed, arrested, charged, humiliated publicly. The images shocked the world. Many Malaysians saw not merely the fall of a politician, but crushing of a democratic movement. The cry of reforms echoed through Malaysia. Thousands marched, students protested. The opposition found a new hero. For years, Anwar moved in and out of courtrooms, prisons, and political campaigns. His supporters viewed him as a victim. His opponents viewed him as a threat. But one thing was undeniable. He refused to disappear. Here begins the new chapter. Most politicians would have retired in place of Anwar. Most politicians would have surrendered. Anwar chose another path. He built alliances. He united opposition groups. He survived repeated political setbacks. Meanwhile, Malaysia entered a period of turbulence. Governments rose, governments failed, coalitions fractured, prime ministers came and went. Between 2020 and 2022, Malaysia witnessed remarkable political instability with multiple changes in the leadership. And then came the election of 2022. The result was unprecedented. No party won a clear majority. The nation was divided. The parliament was fragmented. Malaysia faced uncertainty. Then something extraordinary happened. Former enemies joined hands. See, politics is a game of glorious uncertainties. So the former enemies joined hands. A unity government emerged, and after decades of struggle, Anwar Ibrahim finally became Prime Minister. The dream had come true. Really, we go further. History teaches us something important. Winning power is one challenge, keeping power is another. Anwar inherited a deeply divided political landscape. His coalition included former rivals, different ideologies, different ambitions, different expectations. Some wanted reform, others wanted stability. Some demanded anti corruption action, others feared political revenge. Every day became an exercise in balancing contradictions. A single wrong move could trigger political instability. And yet, despite the challenges, many observers credit Anwar with restoring a degree of stability after years of political chaos. But stability comes with a price. Sometimes compromises disappoint supporters, and that is where the real tension began. Anwar built his reputation on reform, transparency, accountability, good governance, fighting corruption. But governing is harder than campaigning. Supporters expected rapid transformation. Instead, they discovered the reality of coalition politics. Every reform required negotiation. Every decision created new opponents. In 2026, Anwar renewed efforts for installation and institutional reforms. His efforts were in the direction of institutional reforms, including term limits for prime ministers, greater transparency and ombudsman system, and changes to strengthen the governance. But reforms move slowly. Critics say too slowly. Supporters argue that the change takes time. The debate continues, and Anwar remains caught between expectations and political realities. Anwar's challenges are not only domestic, they are global. Malaysia sits at one of the world's most strategic crossroads between East and West, between China and America, between competing visions of the future. Anwar has pursued a careful balancing strategy, maintaining relations with China, maintaining relations with the United States, maintaining relations with Russia, maintaining relations across the Islamic world. He consistently argues that dialogue is better than confrontation, and that Malaysia should maintain constructive relations with all major powers. This balancing act is not easy. Every major power wants influence. Every regional crisis creates pressure. Every diplomatic choice has consequences. And yet, Anwar believes middle powers like Malaysia must navigate wisely rather than choose sides. I think this could be a lesson for India as well. Now comes perhaps the biggest question. Can Anwar survive politically or even strengthen his position? Recent discussions in Malaysian politics have included speculation about the possibility of an early election driven by coalition tensions, economic pressures, and electoral calculations. Supporters see opportunity, critics see vulnerability. The opposition remains active. Economic challenges persist. Subsidy reforms could become politically costly. Coalition partners have their own ambitions, and every election carries risk. The same leader who fought for decades to reach the top now faces the challenge of defending his position, because there's only one way: either you stay at the top or you are tumbled down. So, the same leader who fought for decades to reach the top now is facing the challenges of defending his position. History can be cruel. Some heroes become legends, others become cautionary tales. Which path awaits Anwar? What do you say? Which path awaits Anwar? No one knows. God only knows. With this background, friends, so let us return to our original question. All well is that ends well. For Anwar Ibrahim, the answer depends on where you stop the story. If the story ends with a political prisoner becoming a prime minister, then yes, it is one of the greatest political comebacks in modern history. If the story ends with Malaysia regaining stability after years of uncertainty, then perhaps yes again. But if the story is still being written, incomplete, then the verdict remains open. Can he deliver reforms? Can he unite a divided political landscape? Can he balance competing global powers? Can he secure a lasting legacy? The next few years will decide. One thing is certain: Anwar Ibrahim's journey has already become one of the Asia's most remarkable political sagas. A story of ambition, a story of survival, a story of redemption, and perhaps a story whose final chapter has not yet been written. The final end is yet to come. Because in politics, the ending matters the most, and Malaysia's story is far from over. And so is the story of Anwar. See you, friends, again with the developments as and when they take place on Malaysian front or elsewhere. Stay tuned to the Global Crossroads, my English YouTube channel. I have two more channels. One is a Hindi channel, which is Khabardar, and another is a mixed channel, which is The Real Debate. You're welcome to be with us. All the three subscriptions you can make without costing you a penny. Be with us. Keep in touch. Let us share every information that we think is worth sharing with you and come to you with perhaps the information which is latest, and our arrival to you is the earliest. Let us continue the dialogue. Thank you, friends. Bye.